Recession, a definition. The economy is a complex beast, constantly in motion, influenced by countless factors. Sometimes it grows, bustling with activity and progress. Other times it shrinks, slowing down and contracting. A recession? That's when the economy shrinks for a while, causing widespread concern. Specifically, it's when the economy shrinks for 2-3-month periods in a row, known as quarters. That's 6 months of things going downhill, a prolonged period of economic decline. Economists call this 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, a technical definition. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product, a measure of a country's economic performance. It's like the economy's report card, showing how well or poorly it's doing. And during a recession, it's definitely not getting straight A's, indicating trouble, but it's more than just numbers on a chart. It's about real lives and real impacts. A recession means people lose jobs, businesses close, and communities suffer. It's a tough time for everyone, creating uncertainty and hardship. And while economists have their fancy definitions, for most people, a recession just feels like things are getting worse with no clear end in sight. So, how do we know when a recession is looming? It's a question that weighs heavily on the minds of economists, business leaders, and everyday people alike. There are some telltale signs that can help us recognize the early warnings. One big one is GDP decline. When the gross domestic product, or GDP, starts to fall, it's a clear indicator that the economy is slowing down. Remember that report card we talked about? If the grades are slipping, that's a problem. Just like a student's report card, a declining GDP is a sign of trouble. Another red flag is rising unemployment. When more people are out of work, it means less income and less spending power. When people lose their jobs, it hurts the whole economy. Families struggle to make ends meet, and the ripple effects are felt everywhere. They have less money to spend, which means businesses suffer too. Retailers see fewer customers and sales begin to drop. Decreased consumer spending is another bad omen. When people are cautious with their money, it signals a lack of confidence in the economy. When people are worried about the economy, they tighten their belts, they save more and spend less, which can lead to a downward spiral. They buy less stuff, which slows down businesses even more. Small businesses in particular feel the pinch as sales decline. And if you see businesses cutting back on investment, that's a major warning sign. That's like a canary in a coal mine. It means businesses are bracing for tough times ahead. They're scared, and you probably should be too. Recognizing these signs early can help us prepare and respond more effectively. Recessions don't just happen out of the blue. Usually there's a culprit, or at least a few accomplices. Economic shocks are a big one. Think pandemics, wars, or sudden spikes in oil prices. These events can throw the economy into a tailspin. Another common culprit is high levels of debt. When people and businesses borrow too much money, it can create a house of cards. And when the economy takes a hit, that house can come crashing down. The consequences of a recession are far-reaching. Job losses, reduced income, business closures, it's a domino effect, and the effects can be long-lasting, leaving scars on communities and individuals. Section 4, Preparing for the Downturn. In this section, we will discuss essential steps you can take to safeguard your financial health during uncertain times. Nobody wants to think about a recession, but it's better to be prepared than caught off guard. The economic landscape can change rapidly, and being proactive can make a significant difference. So, what can you do to weather the storm? There are several strategies you can implement to ensure you stay afloat during tough times. First and foremost, build up your emergency fund. This fund acts as a financial cushion, providing you with the means to cover unexpected expenses without going into debt. Having 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses saved can make all the difference if you lose your job or face unexpected expenses. This safety net can give you peace of mind and financial stability. Next, get your debt under control. High levels of debt can be a significant burden, especially during a downturn. The less debt you have, the less vulnerable you'll be during a recession. Reducing your debt load can free up more of your income for essential expenses. Focus on paying down high-interest debt like credit cards. These debts can quickly become unmanageable if not addressed promptly. Diversifying your income is also a good idea. Relying on a single source of income can be risky, especially if that source is affected by the downturn. Having multiple streams of income can provide a safety net if one dries up. Consider exploring side gigs, freelance work, or other opportunities to supplement your primary income. Section 5. Navigating the storm. Even if you've prepared as best you can, riding out a recession can still be tough. But there are things you can do to mitigate the impact. If you're worried about your job security, start polishing your resume and networking. The more prepared you are for a potential job loss, the better. Cut back on unnecessary spending and focus on essentials. This will help you stretch your budget further. And remember, recessions don't last forever. The economy is cyclical, and what goes down must eventually come up. By taking steps to prepare and weather the storm, you'll be in a better position to thrive when the good times return.